A very good morning to all my dear students of class 7. This is the second class on the chapter A Train Station for a Student. This is the first chapter from the third part of your literature book Living English. And third part is the last part from your literature book in your half-yearly English literature syllabus. Okay. In yesterday's class, I have explained to you the first part of the chapter, which is the newspaper report published in the newspaper Morning News on 10th March 2016. The title of the report is Train Runs for Just One Student. And here we got to know about a high school girl who used to live in the northern part of Japan, from where the railway company had decided to stop their service, but they somehow found out that she happened to be the only passenger who is traveling to her school on that in that train every day and returning. And if they discontinue or stop the railway service from there, that girl will not have the scope to continue her studies in future. And Japan is such a country where education is given foremost importance, priority. Okay, so now today we will get to know about the other two news reports which are published in other two newspapers. One is Noon Standard, the other one is the Daily Bulletin. While teaching you, I told you a newspaper report generally covers two types of criticism. One is the positive one and the other one is the negative one. Let's see what they have done in this story, in this report of theirs. Noon Standard: Japanese train farm goes extra mile for single passenger. 11 February 2016. At 7 a.m. sharp, a train stops at the remote Kyu Shirataki station in the far north of Japan to take on a single passenger, a student on her way to school. It has been bringing her home at 8 p.m. every single working day for last 3 years. So here, every morning, the girl child starts at around 7 a.m. in the morning and returns by 5 o'clock. And for that purpose only, the railway service was still going on, and the railway company has decided not to stop their service in that particular part of the country. She may be the only person on the train, but it lets her continue her education while without inconvenience or a break. So that is very important. Maybe she is the only passenger, but that helps her to continue her education without inconvenience. That means problem or break. This story of China's CCTV news went viral, and the operator of the line, the Hokkaido Railway Company, has been acclaimed for its heartwarming and caring gesture towards our customer. For them, each and every customer matters a lot. They give importance, priority to each and every citizen of the country. They are not just the number. Citizens, each and every citizen matters to them a lot. They are not just a number. Okay, their priority is the utmost priority of the country, and the different policies that were there in the government only looks after for the well-being of the citizens and people. Okay, that is what we should see. The railway company has planned to shut the station down 3 years ago since it was hardly used. Then it was brought to their notice that one student was still using the train every school day. Hokkaido Railway Company decided to keep the station open for the girl until she completed high school, which she will at the end of the year, in March. The authorities are likely to close down the station on March 26th this year. So once the girl completes her school education, high school education, they will stop the service. A post on a popular social media site said that this is a long-term investment in the young that will be repaid when the young woman starts working, and wished businesses and leaders in other countries would make a similar commitment to education and the public. And while the story has brought accolades means praises for the railway firm, it does highlight the population crisis that Japan faces. Services on 20 railway lines has been recently stopped in Hokkaido, the most northerly of Japan's four main islands. The population in this remote part of the country is falling more rapidly than national average. The forecast is that by 2060, Japan's population will decline as much as one third. The majority of the people from the countryside will move to the cities, making housings and rail services redundant. Redundant means which is not needful anymore. So, this scenario, this situation which was there in the country is really praiseworthy for the international social media users who has got the news through social media, and each and everybody has praised this initiative taken by the Hokkaido Railway Company. And this is something which is desired by each and every businessman, each and every country, each and every organization, whether profitable or non-profitable, that they will look after to the overall development of the country, the holistic development of the country, which only comes to the country if each and every child gets proper ambience and scope for education. And that was being offered in Japan. And one more problem that is located by the international media and the people, that Japan's population is decreasing, and in that particular part of northern Japan, the population is decreasing more and more rather than the national population rate. In other parts of the country it's less, but in that particular part of the country it's intense. So they are looking after to this matter in this manner, by giving the scope, the convenience to the particular child. Okay. So next comes to the next report, which is in the Daily Bulletin on 20th April 2016. The train station stays open till only passenger graduates. Tokyo, for over a year, the Q Shirataki train station in Hokkaido, Japan, ran operations just for one person, a young girl named Kana Harada. So here the name is revealed, Kana Harada. She was completely dependent on it for a train service that helped her get to school and back home, and when she graduated in March 2016, the station became one of the many train stations to close down in rural Japan due to lack of passengers. Okay, so in rural Japan, due to lack of passengers, people are heading towards the cities. So in rural Japan, there are the people are hardly interested to live there anymore. So for this one passenger, the railway services is still going on. So the name of the girl is Kana Harada. The station would have shut down much earlier if it hadn't been for the special request the parents of the girl made to Hokkaido Railway Company. With only a year left for Kana to finish schooling, her parents needed the station to stay open so that their daughter could continue to commute, attend school regularly, and complete her studies. Kana lived over 30 kilometers away from her school. The only practical way for her to cover the distance and reach in time for classes every day was to take 30-minute train ride to her school from Q Shirataki. Without the service, she would have had to walk for 6 kilometers across the countryside to catch a 9 a.m. Train from neighboring Shirataki station, but that ride would get her to school late. After the railway company received the request from Kana's parents, it decided to keep the station running just for her. According to reports, the station even had a unique timetable keeping her school hours in mind. Kana would board the special train at 4 past 7 a.m. and return at 8 past 5 p.m. At the time, several other stations in the area had already shut down because they did not have enough regular passengers. Hokkaido Railway Company received a lot of appreciation for its exemplary customer service. It won hearts across the world on social media too. Some people even tweeted their praise to the authorities for valuing education over money. One social media user posted online that incident proved that every citizen mattered and that you do not have to leave anyone behind, let alone a child, in this increasingly self centered and profit oriented world. Really, this world has become very much self centered and profit oriented, whereas this picture in the rural Japan, which they have found, is completely different. Okay, they are not paying any heed to the monetary loss. They are looking forward to the profit that they are going, not profit, the evaluation, the result that they are going to get from the educated girl. So they are not paying any heed to the monetary loss, financial loss in this case. The story of the lone passenger drew attention to a major change in the transportation sector in Japan. Observers say that the old railroad system was proving to be obsolete. Obsolete means which is of no use anymore, because the population in Japan has shifted in large numbers to urban areas. Now there are fewer people commuting to work and from fewer areas. Therefore, a lot of the train services are now underused. Despite all this, it was encouraging to see that the railway company looked beyond its profits and operating problems and came forward to help a young girl complete her school education. So, this is the whole scenario. So, here we have found the benevolent nature of the railway company. The the other fact is the decreasing population in Japan and the probe of Japanese people to live in the city. So that is a nature, that is not common human nature. People want to enjoy the facilities that are given in art, that are available in urban areas. That also happened here, and the worldwide praise, acclamation that the Japanese railway company that got by doing this benevolent task. And here the most important thing is their policies. Instead of putting stress on the monetary loss, they they have put stress on the fact that if a single child becomes literate, so that is the greatest treasure of a country. The greatest treasure of a country is its people, not the amount of profit, because profit will one day be spent in any ways. Any natural calamity, any problem, any disease, any sort of thing, any loss, any downfall in the share market, anything can ruin the country's economy. But what is the permanent treasure of the country is its people. That Japan has done, and the railway company, the Hokkaido Railway Company, has seen. So this is a very, very, very nice story for you, students like you, young children like you, who I know have enjoyed this story. So students, now I am not discussing the questions. There are some questions given in the book. I will give you the answers. Okay. So I hope you will read the chapter many a times, keeping in mind to those facts where to give stress, and I have discussed them time and again. So bye for today, and don't worry at all, because I shall be posting the answers tomorrow. Okay, and I hope you are seeing the answer PDFs. So bye for today, see you tomorrow.